With Warthunder entering 2025, it's once again time to go over what to expect from Warthunder when it comes to events, major updates, and most importantly, Warthunder sales so you can save money if you're looking to buy premiums or even premium time. Also, the way that I'm getting these dates is from previous years of Warthunder. We have 12 years to look back on now to see what Warthunder has done. One thing that I do want to note before we start the video itself is to save time, I'm not going to be covering any of the decal or decorator only events just because they have to be associated with some sort of vehicle for them to be mentioned in this video, but definitely pay attention to the Warthunder website if you do want some of these decals. This video itself will cover the months of January all the way till June of 2025. Don't worry though, I will be making another video very similar to this one in July where we'll cover July till December and then it will end out the end of the year. So starting off, let's go over the color code of this video. The reason I'm doing this is because there's some things that I'm very confident on happening and there's also things I'm very unconfident on happening, but we have seen it in previous years. So whenever I put text on the screen, if it is green, that means that there's over a 90% chance of this being correct and it's going to happen. Yellow text is like a medium chance. It's like 50-50 if it can happen again for Warthunder. And then finally, if the text is red, this means that I am very unconfident of either dates or I'm very unconfident on happening at all, or the dates themselves can just be changed from previous years of Warthunder, which can definitely affect this. But yeah, red is the least confident, yellow is like 50-50, and then green should definitely mean that is going to come to Warthunder in 2025. So now let's get on to January and start off at the beginning of the year. Normally for the beginning of the year for January, we don't see much when it comes to Warthunder because most of the Gaijin staff themselves are taking their holidays during this time of year. Normally we'll start seeing stuff towards the middle of January, which is going to be the first thing that we cover, which is January 13th or January 14th, which will be the Swedish Armed Forces Day. For this holiday, we normally see the Swedish SAV come back on sale, and it is available again in-game temporarily for Golden Eagles. The next major thing that is happening is Season 17 of the Warthunder Battle Pass is ending on January 22nd, with Season 18 coming soon after. If this season follows the other Battle Pass trends, a naval vehicle should be the major prize of the next Battle Pass season, with an aircraft box as the kind of extra prize, and then the minor prize should be the ground vehicle. Deadblocks for the Season 18 Battle Pass should start before the Season 17 ends, so be on the look at that before January 22nd. On January 24th, we actually seen the SU-7 BKM, which was its maiden flight event. Normally this vehicle comes back for temporary for Golden Eagles, which it should probably come back as well in 2025. The next holiday that we have in January is Australia Day. Last year it was on January 26th, but since this is a Sunday this year, I expect this to fall either on the 24th or the 27th of January because Gaijin really does not like putting out stuff when it comes to weekends. So this will be a trend through this video, especially like this one right here. Whenever it's a weekend for this year, I definitely think the actual date itself is going to change a little bit. But for this holiday, we do get the Boomerang Mark II that you can get for Golden Eagles temporarily. And to end off January of 2025, we should have our first event vehicle come back, which this one is going to be a red text because I'm completely unsure when these events are going to happen. But if we look at last year, which is 2024, the event cycle started out with the Object 292 around the end of January itself. So I kind of expect the same thing to happen, but this is one that I am very unconfident on in happening. And majority of the event vehicles, I will have to say the same thing. It is going to all be red text, but be on the lookout for the end of January with a new event vehicle on the horizon. Now let's go on to February. The first holiday we have in February is for Japan. Last year, this holiday started on February 8th. We had the 50% off sale for the Type 16 FPS, the F4 EJ Phantom 2, the Yashimaru, and then the Japanese starter pack. Also for this holiday, we had the A6 M5 Co make a return in IGN Kirishima, temporarily available again for Golden Eagles. The next event that we had was actually on February 9th, which was just a day later, which was for the Chinese New Year's. This holiday gave a 50% discount for the Type 96A, the A5C, and the J7D, and the Chinese starter pack. Since many of these vehicles have been taken off sale, I expect this to change, but we also had two bundles of Chinese vehicles, one for ground and one for air. And then finally, we had the return of the Chinese T62 and the Type 69-2A, which were temporarily available again for Golden Eagles. Next, we have Warthunder's scariest holiday for Warthunder players, which is Valentine's Day. On February 14th, this event actually brought back the Valentine for Russia, which is actually a pretty unique little vehicle to pick up for Valentine's Day. Next, we have the event, which comes after whatever the first event has in Warthunder for 2025, which actually came in with the Jaguar IS. So after the Object 292, this was whenever the event started, which was February 15th. So around these dates, I would definitely look out for the second event vehicle of the year to come out. But at the same time, once again, I am very unconfident in saying that this is actually going to be the date. We might see some changes in the new event cycle, but just be on realize that this happened last year, so be prepared for it. On February 16th, we had the Bo 105's first flight. This is a helicopter for Germany, and it will temporarily return to Germany for Golden Eagles. On February 21st, we had the South African Armed Forces Day, where we had a 30% discount on the Roycat 105 and also Ruva. Just a day later, on February 22nd, we had the Defenders of the Fatherlands event, which actually brought back a ton of vehicles like the KV-1E, the First Guard T-34, the PE-20205, and finally the IL-2M Avenger. All these vehicles were temporarily available again for Golden Eagles, and I would highly recommend picking up the KV-1E if you've never had it. It's a really good event grinder and just a good grinder in general for Warthunder. Also on February 22nd, we had the first devlogs for the March update, but I do expect these to change since once again this starts on a weekend itself. So the 22nd of February is a weekend, so expect these dates to just completely change when it happens this year. But overall, this should be the beginning of March. With the beginning of March, we should have devlog season in full effect, and also the dev servers should start to be happening. But for our first official event, we have the March 6th, which is Alexander Pokyrshkin's birthday, where we get the P39N, which comes temporarily again for Golden Eagles for Russia. Next, we have March 8th, which was the start of the SMS Maiden event. This falls on a weekend, so once again, these dates are very much subject to change, and since it's an event vehicle, we're not really sure when these events will start, but be on the lookout at the beginning to the middle of March that we'll probably see another event vehicle that you can grind out. For March 11th, we had Tank Football. This is an event where you can earn some camos for the M551 and also some decals and decoration. If you don't know what the Tank Football is, it's basically Rocket League where you take M551 Sheridans and you try to hit a soccer ball into the net and you try to get 3 or 4 points and then you win for your team. Now we're on to our very first major update of the year of 2025, which will be around the middle of March. Last year, Alpha Strike came out on March 13th, so definitely be on the lookout for a major update in the middle of March. On March 21st, we had the first flight of the LA-5, which last year brought back the German LA-5 temporarily again for Golden Eagles. Next, we have March 29th, which was the birthday of the Royal Air Force for Britain. This holiday made the Typhoon Mark 1B temporarily available again for Golden Eagles. And then finally, we're in April, which April 1st is probably one of the best times to be a Warthunder player because we get some wacky stuff to experience. Overall, April is one of the funnest times to play Warthunder because on April 1st, we have the Warthunder April Fool's event. Most of the time, this event is somewhat testing new mechanics. Like last year for Mad Thunder, we were testing the vehicle wheels being able to be shot off. But most of the time, the April Fool's event is just very goofy and fun to experience at least a couple times. And also just realize this, I've been playing Warthunder for a very, very long time, and it pretty much never these events come back to be playable again. So at least try it out a couple of times, especially if you have like time or something like that, because most likely you'll never get to experience April Fool's again, and you may want to actually try it out. So definitely make sure to mark April 1st on your calendar to just try out Warthunder. Also, just one thing to note about April is that April 1st is really the only thing happening at the beginning of April, but we do see some stuff towards the middle and towards the end of April itself. But for the next thing is we should look at April 21st, which should be the season 19 of the Warthunder Battle Pass. Once again, this is going to be a very speculative thing because if we look at this right, we can compare dates, but at the same time, this is so far out that Gaijin could change a lot of things, but be on the lookout towards the end of April of a new Battle Pass coming into Warthunder. Also, last year, the PLZ 83130 event started on April 24th, so be prepared for another event vehicle around this time, but once again, this is one of those very speculative things because we don't really know when the exact dates are going to be for these new events coming in 2025. Now on to the most important month of this time period of Warthunder, which is going to be May, because we'll see the May sales come forward and we'll be able to experience a lot of cool things for Warthunder. Now, for the most important thing during this time, we have the May sales or the Victory Day sales or the Spring sales. It goes by many different names, but this is one of the most important dates during this time period because this is when the Warthunder sales mainly happen. Last year, they started on April 26th and ran until May 13th. This year, though, I feel like it's probably going to be around the same date, but at the same time, this is very much a subject to change, but we should know that there should be sales happening. So there is normally the G and then Silver Lions and all that sort of stuff sales, but then you also have the pack sales as well. And then the most important thing, which a lot of you probably need to take note of, is if you need premium account, this is the perfect time to buy it because the next opportunity that you'll have to buy premium account on discount will probably be the November sale of 2025, which is a really, really long way away. So if you need 365 days of premium, this is when you need to pick it up because you probably will not get another opportunity until the anniversary sale of 2025. Next, we had another event vehicle, which was the Yak 3 event, which started on May 2nd. But once again, this is so far out in the future that I have no clue if this will be the correct date, but just be on the lookout at the beginning of May, of where we should see another event vehicle on the horizon. Now, the next day, I'm breaking my own rules of covering decal only events, but this one I kind of feel like is going to be a little bit more relevant this year because of the removal of the M728CV. Now, Now, this is 100% a speculation post. It's basically me putting on a tinfoil hat and probably saying this might actually happen. If it does happen, definitely come back to this video and like congratulate me. But this is a perfect vehicle that could be added to the U.S. Armed Forces Day on May 17th. This would be a 100% a perfect timed vehicle for this to come back for GE. But once again, this is just me using logic to assume something. So at the same time, take this one with a huge grain of salt because this is just me logically just thinking that this would be a good time for this vehicle to come back. On May 28th, we had the USS Des Moines temporary return on the anniversary for Golden Eagles. On May 29th, we had the French Milan and SAV 20 return once again, temporarily again for Golden Eagles. And then on May 30th, we also had the announcement of the Churchill AVRE event, which also means that this one is probably just going to be an incredibly weird date because once again, it's going to be so hard to predict event vehicles just this far out in the future. But be on the edge of the end of May, you should look out for another event vehicle for Warthunder, and you may just want to come check and see if you're interested in it if you don't really play the game that often. And finally, towards the end of May, we should start getting devlogs for the next Warthunder major update in June. Now let's go on to June of 2025, and it will be the last month that we'll cover within this video. During this time of early June, we should start seeing dev servers for the actual major update, and Gaijin will be preparing that update majority of the time for the early of June. But there's one thing that is pretty big to catch up on, especially if you're interested in like World War II vehicles, is going to be the D-Day packs that normally come around June 6th. During this event, you should be able to expect to get the Cobra King, the M18 Black Cat, the George Boswick's P47M, the Mustang pack, the M10 Achilles, Sherman Firefly, Pegasus' Spitfire, Typhoon pack, and much more during this time of War Thunder. Next on June 10th, we have Italian Naval Day, which the RN Gennari came back temporarily again for Golden Eagles. June 14th brings back the German MiG-21 SPSK, the T-31, the Z-20 Car Gaster, which also come back temporary again for Golden Eagles, and they do get removed. So if you've been watching this video, if I say temporary, that means it's probably going to be limited to maybe like 1 or 2 days, and then they will definitely take it off sale again. Once again though, the 14th this year is on a weekend, so expect a date change for this event. So towards the end of June, we should see the second major update of the year. This should bring a lot of good things for War Thunder, new vehicles, new mechanics, all that sort of stuff. But we do have one final thing to talk about, which is going to be the end of June, which is going to be the summer sale that we normally see. The summer sale overall, for a lot of people, is probably Gaijin's worst sale they have all throughout the year, just because there's pack sales, but there really isn't anything on sale normally within the game itself. So premium account time normally isn't on sale. You don't get any cool things like talismans. You don't get any G premiums. So overall, this one is a pack heavy focus sale. So definitely, if you're looking to pick up other things, you want to make sure to take advantage of the spring / victory day sales if you want to get stuff like that. But overall, these are my big things that's going to be happening within War Thunder. I do want to do like a top 5 though, just in case like you're a newer player or something and you're just like confused of all of this stuff that I've said. So if you want a top 5 things to look out for, you definitely want the event dates when it comes to event vehicles, because you'll only have one opportunity to grab them out for free, and then after that you'll have to buy them from the War Thunder market. And if you're on console, well, there really isn't an option for you. April 1st is going to be April Fool's. This is going to be my number 4 thing to look out for, because like I've said, it's a very rare event that you'll be able to play. It most likely will never come back to War Thunder itself for any sort of other event. So this is definitely one that you need to try out, just to try it out like 1 or 2 games. Definitely make time to do the April Fool's event. The third thing to look out for is all the rare vehicles that should go back on sale during this time period. Make sure to take a mental note of whenever I said them within this video, so you can definitely look out for them. I know there's a ton of people who want the SAV. There's a ton of people, especially that want the KV-1E right now, just because of how potent and powerful that thing is. So definitely, if you find a vehicle within this video that you want to actually get, make sure to like put it in on your calendar or something, so you do remember to go pick it up. Number 2 is going to be the War Thunder Summer Sale. This is going to be a time to pick up majority of your pack premiums that you want to pick up, just because this is a pack focused heavy sale. And the number one thing that you need to look out for is going to be the Spring Victory Day sales. This is going to be one of the most important things to look out for, just because your SL is going to be discounted. So if you need to buy vehicles, it's going to be just beneficial for you. Even if you're a free-to-play player, this is going to be the number 1 place that you need to look out for. If you can play the game, like I know there's a ton of people who have like stuff to do during that time, they will still log on though, and they will go buy all the vehicles that they need to save SL on. So definitely is a huge thing that you need to know. Pick up your premium time during this time, pick up your G premiums that you want to pick up, and normally this is one of the best sales of the year. So yeah, this is going to be War Thunder between January and June. This should be expected to happen. Just realize that this video is very much a speculative thing. There can be a lot of things that change. There can be a lot of things that just the dates don't line up. So just take this as a reference guide when it comes to what you should be prepared for in War Thunder. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. This video did take a good time to make, so if you do like it, remember to like and sub the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next War Thunder video.